we have several judges today and 8 companies. So I guess to begin, I'll let the judges stand up and just do a quick introduction. So Porter, you want to...
Hi everyone, my name is Porter Wong. It's nice to be here today, and of course I thank for you guys coming to this pitch competition today. So I am with Network VC, and we do like seed and Series A. We are active, looking for startups to invest. In terms of my involvement in smart cities, I do have a company, in my portfolio that they are IoT company. And then at the same time, I'm actually the jury member, now it's a long name, of the European Reconstruction, European Bank of Reconstruction and Development. It's like actually counterpart of World Bank. It's a $70 billion fund. And they have one department called Star Venture, and then under Star Venture, there's something called Small Cities Startup Innovation Challenge. And so I'm one of the 3 jury members. Committees to look at startup and then also help them to make investment in startup. So that's so I do know a thing or two about smart cities.
Okay, Derek.
Good afternoon, everyone. Derek Chow from Acorn Pacific Ventures. I'm one of the general partners there. We typically write checks in the range of as small as $250,000 up to $4 million. I cover enterprise software and fintech. Our network of funds has a competitive advantage for those that are looking for interconnections with Asia and Silicon Valley. In terms of government smart city experience, I was previously Chief Operating Officer and board member at Acela. It was one of the largest enterprise software companies serving the government space. So thrilled to be here and look forward to the pitches.
Okay, Henry.
Hello everyone, my name is Henry Xue. I'm partner of Seven Investment. So we are investing in early stage technology company. So far we have a 30 portfolio company, and so happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Jim from Running Capital. We are a family office backed by real estate consumer. So we focus on C to Series A investment. Usually the investment ticket size would be 100K to 500K for seed round. And right now we have about 40 companies in our portfolio, and 2 of them are IoT. Thanks.
All right, thank you, judges. So today we are going to limit it to 5 minutes tops for each startup. And so we're going to do judges. I have 8 sheets down there for you with 9 different categories. Please go ahead and mark them as you listen to the pitch, and we will have about a minute to 2 minutes at the end if you really have some questions for clarification. We will have some prizes at the end, so please do rank them in the order from first, second, and third. Thank you. All right. First up, Rajiv Hirlakapalli, RELE Technology will present first.
Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Rajiv Hirlakapalli. I'm the CTO of a startup called RELE Technology. We are based in Cupertino, California. What we do is multi-channel 3D soundbar. We trick your ears into believing that sound is coming from around you. So this will replace satellite speakers in the living room and give you a much better listening experience. So imagine you went to Best Buy and bought this 83-inch 4K smart TV. It looks awesome. The picture is crisp. It's very clear. You bring it home and you turn it on, and you find that the sound is just horrible. You can barely figure out what they're talking, especially older people who have problem hearing lower frequencies. So that's a big problem. So we solve those kind of problems very easily. So when we go back to, so this is the, to solve this problem, companies like Dolby and DTS, they have a solution which is satellite speakers. You have to put speakers all around your living room, put speakers in your ceiling, and then sit in a small place where you get a good effect. But this is not a practical or a cost-effective solution to the problem. This is right here, Relay Technologies solution. This is an array of speakers. We come pretty close to what you hear from a speaker configuration like this from Dolby or DTS at much lower cost. What you will hear is a panoramic sound all around your living room, the front half, and you get a much better listening experience. So these are the markets we are trying to tap. There are about 250 million TVs that are produced every year, of which about 100 million are premium models. So that's what we are trying to address. So this is a big market. Next up is smart speakers. About 2 years ago, Apple announced something called Apple Music, or spatial audio. So here the content that is streamed on Apple Music, it is no longer just stereo, it is multi-channel. So it is almost 7 channels with some cues added to make your listening experience better. Right now you can experience that through Apple AirPods. You get a much better listening experience. But if you try to stream it to a smart speaker, you are out of luck. These are the smart speakers that are available today. They can only handle stereo, but not multi-channel spatial audio. So, but our soundbar, this is a very small soundbar, about 14 inches wide, and an array of speakers that will create the similar experience that you hear in your earpods, but much in an open environment. In addition to Apple, Google, and few other companies have jumped on this 3D spatial audio bandwagon. Again, this is a very big market, about 200 million units a year. We are targeting about 40 million units. Who are our customers? It could be TV manufacturers, soundbar manufacturers, and people who manufacture smart speakers. So our technology is fully developed. It's a very small footprint. Right now it's in an FPGA. We can go to an ASIC very quickly. But what has happened in the last couple of years is the cost of FPGAs also has come down.
All right, thank you, Rajiv. I know it's tough in 5 minutes, but thank you. All right, do any of the judges have any questions?
Testing. Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
One is not quite clear to me. Maybe you don't have enough time. Is the your business model, and then 2 questions, and then the second question is how about like your competitors, right? And there's other like sound bars companies.
Right.
And nowadays, when you buy, let's say, newer TV, sometimes they, come with the almost Dolby too. Right?
Yeah. I'll answer the second question first. There are soundbars in the market who claim to be Dolby Atmos. They have speakers that are tilted to the side and here and there, and then speakers firing up. They bounce the sound off the ceiling. You don't get a very good experience. Say the ceiling is very high, ceiling is absorptive, and it doesn't really work. Whereas our technology is direct to your ears, and it is much, much better. So our business model, what we are thinking is, ultimately we will go to a licensing model, but until we get there, we would like to come out with a product and then really hit the market. That's what we are seeking funds for, about $2 million to do the product development, and then another $1 million for marketing it.
Thank you.
Did you have a question? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, next up, let's have...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to i3M presentation. My name is Bob, and I am the 3D designer for i3M. i3M envisions to create a 3D digital platform for experiential economy. So first of all, let me ask you all a simple question. How many of you love your hometown? If you do, please raise your hand. I left my hometown about 11 years ago, and then, well, it was emergent city when I left. And the thing is that most of the people that I've met here have never even heard of it. And even for the few ones who did, they thought I was from a suburban place. But actually, my hometown, Clara, is actually a modern city with almost 500,000 people living there right now. I miss my family, I miss my friends, I miss the culture, the experience, and all the good memories that I had when I was little while growing up there. And I really, really would like to share these joys and memories and the experiences with the people that I've met here in this country or wherever I go in the future. However, there's no current way or media that is capable of doing it nowadays. Not Google Map, not just the pictures and texts on the website, not the introduction videos. And we, i3M, are here to provide you a solution by using generative AI and serverless scalability for rapid creation. So here you're able to build up connections and communities, and then you can share the joy and experiences with other people on the platform or just to the world in a realistic way. And then even for the local businesses, once they join us, they're able to expand their business, and then they're able to connect and to interact with the local communities. And so far we've accomplished, this is what we accomplished so far, basically. So we've collaborated with a few of these big companies that everyone knows. And then we've also collaborated with the Poppy Jasper Festival, which is a local film festival in Gilroy. And then we have created multiple scene templates, like art galleries, like you can have your own customizable island, business templates, office, bank, all of these things in the 3D world. And of course, we have a talented team of 10 people, and all of us have the passion and the potential to create this 3D digital world and make the dream come true. And so far, we're in Series A for fundraising, and then we are expecting to have $25 million. And thank you for listening to my presentation today.
Good job. All right. Judges, do you have any questions?
Please explain to us your business model. It looks like you've built a lot of beautiful content here, but what is your business model in terms of monetization and bringing people to the community?
So I think we have on this page. Are you able to see it from here? So basically, we're just trying to create a platform to provide all these services and business that we just mentioned above. And then we charge them like a starter fee and a monthly fee, as many other platforms do.
Thank you for wonderful sharing. So one slide you mentioned, so you have a city festival, right? So how the event use your platform? So could you elaborate a little?
So I think one of these photos that we provided here, which is this one, I don't know if you're able to see it, the bottom one, where we created a big 3D digital arena for the film festival, and then we had like multiple film stations there, and then each station, which was actually almost like the real station in the real life, and each of them has multiple films represented there, and then these canvases can play their movies one by one. And then we also had an interview system where like we were hosting a digital interview in the center of this arena, and then we had live casting the real interview in real life, so that we recorded, we interviewed, and then we asked the filmmaker questions, and then so that they can answer them and tell their audience like the difficulty, the joyful part that they had while making these films.
Quick question: Do you use any game engine to build this product, and also do you use any third-party 3D model to build this?
I use Unity.
Okay. And do you use any third-party?
Such as
like
3D?
Building, people, tree, like any 3D. Do you buy any 3D model from the third-party marketplace?
We have our own art team.
Okay, so you build everything by yourself?
Yeah, but we also we have our own team, we have our own technologies and our AI for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Jenny Zhang. I'm the CEO of Box Nearby. Box Nearby is my third startup I have founded, and we are building a platform can give everyone a travelable like a mailbox worldwide. So if you sign up to our system, you can get a global Follow Me ID. If our system have millions like locations, you can combine the location and the box ID, become a new address. So if we build this network, like I traveled to Las Vegas Convention Center. We had a CES show at 2018. So last minute, we didn't bring a lot of things. So we shopped like Amazon online for 2 hours, and then I don't have an address to ship to. So it turns out I get into the FedEx and waiting 2 hours for my deliveries as a waste of time. So the other case is like I have a cleaner live in San Jose area, and she told me all her like package in their neighborhood got stolen. So then she called Amazon, and Amazon said, sorry, your zip code is not insured. So this is the problem in US. So we want to build this network. So we're charging membership for Follow Me Box ID, average $50 per person per year. So I think it's a nice price. And also, like meanwhile, right now we work with UPS, FedEx. So we are selling shipping labels, and box ID and shipping label there, they can work together. We can get revenue. So for the shipping label right now, we got the revenue like up to 62% margin. So that's a good benefit, profit. So we already had the POC enterprise customers. We sold to, the Rancher 99 and Cloud Kitchen for smart storage service. And also in office building, we sell as a self-service mail center, so for companies to use. And our go-to market strategy will be work with all different categories of partnerships. So like first one, you will see Amazon right now is building a storage network everywhere, but they're missing identity. So then with carriers, we are talking to all different carriers, UPS, FedEx, and USPS, and they love our solution. So USPS invited me to the NPF show. I'm flying North Carolina, Charlotte like Friday night until like the Tuesday will come back. So speaking of competitive advantages, actually we're not just speaking, we actually has an advantage. Because in Ranch 99, this deal, we beat two big competitors in this picture. As a very small startup, we cannot believe that. So according to the team of Ranch 99, they told me, say, Jenny, you are building an ecosystem. We like it. And for the other of the competitors, they almost has no software. It's just open locker and closed locker. So that's why I'm so happy to tell all my team, say, after so many years, you guys are working on a great product for the future. And this is our team with great experience, and also they are really passionate. And I really love my team. I hope we can get into a unicorn company someday, and everyone the hard work get rewarded. And we are looking for $3 to $5 million at this moment for like a seed to pre round. Thank you very much. I think I made the time. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, good job, Jenny. Okay, questions from judges?
Okay, so I have the first questions. You mentioned about 62% margin, right? Profit margin. Is that a gross margin or net margin?
It's like gosh, I forgot the concept of gross margin and net margin. Isn't it just like we sell like a shipping label, then we got 60%, up to 60% like profit.
Okay, so that's gross margin.
This is gross margin. Sorry, I need to educate myself. Sorry.
Please explain a bit more your solution. We didn't get how everything's unified together. So it appears you have a smart locker solution, some software layer. Can you explain a bit more?
Sure, definitely. So actually our solution, like at the first several years, we're building our demo network. So we have hardware at this moment, right? So then we're selling to Ranch 99 for a smart storage like, solution. So then whenever they put the smart locker there, so the delivery driver can come to pick up through the locker. So they don't need to waste one labor to wait for there. But for this network, actually, we are building a platform. So at the beginning, we are working with enterprise customer to build this network. Whenever this network, like all the bugs has been fixed, the feature has been done, so we can push it to the public, become a Follow Me Box ID network, pure software like a network. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next up, John Sokol from Saffron Rose.
Long story, I'm about 3 years into this Saffron project. I've done a lot of robotics, prototypes, startups, and a common problem I have with investors is they go, we don't see a market for this type of robot, specifically telepresence or some sort of household. So I figured let's go and flip it on its ear and start with a market that I know exists. There's a $1 billion a year market in saffron. It's currently under threat from climate change, and a lot of the crops have been failing because they grow outdoor in the wilderness. So my plan is to do an indoor saffron grow. And saffron would be the largest, most profitable spice, except for the fact that the labor costs are enormous, which is perfect for robotics solutions. At this point, we had 2 years of growing in Livermore. At this point, we've acquired 350 acres of land with 250 some odd damaged greenhouses that we are going to start fixing up and building out into this piece of property in Peanut Hills, Southern California. I don't have pictures in this deck of the property, but so that's the goal, to build a robotic saffron farm. And so far the team's mostly been me and my sons. We had an incubator in Livermore with a fellow named Chuck, who's on the team as well. He's a business. This is his Livermore location. And I think that with a relatively small investment, we could bring back a significant return. All right, any questions?
Thank you for the presentation. So question, you mentioned you are using robot to pick the saffron, right?
The idea is to use robots to do everything.
Wonderful. So what's the stage of it? So what's the stage of the robot, or what?
I've done several generations of pickers that I've experimented with. Because we're using just simple 3D printing and stuff with PLA, I think I could iterate very quickly through a lot of designs. We're also partnered with an Italian company, and his engineer that developed their laser trimming mechanism is also going to be a seed investor in the project.
How much of labor efficiency do you gain by using robotics here?
I estimate a human can pick 18,000 flowers in a 40-hour week. That's about 2 seconds a flower. I hope to be able to at least do that with a few $100 robot. I mean, the robots that I'm building are just 3D printed, so it's, was it $10 a kilogram on PLA? Fairly inexpensive. I'm using 5-hour scissors to basically just drop in, and they're disposable, so when they wear out, I could just replace them. We might switch over to some sort of laser trimming mechanism, which uses like a 5 milliwatt blue laser.
Would you say that's a 10x, 20x advantage over you?
Hundreds of X. I mean, these machines cost me a couple thousand. I could deploy many of them and just parallelize. So I'm not trying to compete with one machine versus a human.
Another question. For your products, are you close to commercialization, or still really prototype stage?
I think we're at the point where we can do a commercial grow. We've done some test grows just experimentally, but I wouldn't say we had enough flowers to make it worthwhile. The intent was just to get a feeling for what was involved. So at this point, we've actually got real greenhouses that we can start building out and growing. So, one way or another, if worst cases, we're going to be manually harvesting if the machine isn't up to the task.
So how about the machines where, the machine will get manufactured?
They're all 3D printed.
Oh, 3D printed.
Yeah, so it's about 40 hours of printing per machine right now.
Do you plan to do it in-house, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to build everything in-house.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you, John.
All right.
Okay, next up, Phil Mann.
Sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Phil Mann, Airwise Solutions. I'm a founder of this company. My background in the last 10 years has been working a lot with smart cities, precise navigation, automation, AI, from autonomous driving vehicles, automatic guided vehicles, and drones. So, Airwise, end-to-end automation for collecting your drone data and for analyzing your drone data. Why? Enterprise drone use is still complicated. It has a lot of different disciplines And then today to go collect that data, I'm still one pilot, one drone. So if you think of all the data that drones are collecting, we're just at the beginning. That's going to explode when we start really automating. So just coming back to the complexity of the problem, right? I need to collect data. So I got to pick the right robot, the right drone, what sensor. If I'm doing methane, how do I detect that? If I'm doing LiDAR, which one, what precision? So that's a discipline unto itself. If I want it to be autonomous, I need to program the flights. I need them to be safe. I need LANC authorization. I need just a great number of things to be compliant. And it has to be safe and efficient. I now need to process that data. I need to, what's the photogrammetry? If it's video, am I going to do any object detection? So there's still quite a lot to do. In terms of market size, almost any search will show you that it's big. Drone data analytics, 30 billion from, market and markets. Again, hardware, software, am I compliant? How do I take in that data and manage? How am I going to analyze it? So once I have my data, now what? So automation is just a big piece of this. So let's talk about what's real. Who needs this? Inspection. I'm a cell tower. I'm a power utility company. I need digital twins of towers. Why? I'm using it to either collect revenue, I'm using it to save cost for any type of mean time between failure analysis. B+T group. Traditional methods are just too slow. These guys have hundreds of thousands of towers they want to investigate twice a year. This is not 10 pilots and 10 drones. Construction, Hensel Phelps, virtual construction drone analytics, it's too fragmented, period. That was their biggest problem. Environmental social governance, methane detection, oil and gas. There are real fines that companies are paying right now because they can't detect enough of this. Automate. So how's Airwise doing that? Think of us as a stack, right? We need this enhanced and predictive analytics where I can monitor things, I can see them on a map, I can see it over time. This is after I've collected huge amounts of data. Image and video processing, my digital twin 3D model of a tower. I want to be able to see which cables are need replacing. I want to know if somebody has put an antenna up there that didn't pay for it and go get their money. Fleet and flight management, so I'm being compliant and I can manage all my data so I know what pilot did what, when, where, how. And remember, I can put any data on a map too, right? It doesn't have to be a drone. And then when you have this kind of complexity of hardware, it is useful to have a ubiquitous ground controller with a little edge computing when I'm not connected to the internet. So this is optional, but we have that as well to complete the ecosystem. What's the business model for Airwise? We've got these three main pieces of software. It's cloud-based, it's API-driven, it's a SaaS model, which you're looking here on this particular screen. Sorry. You said, okay. There's, you said 5 minutes. What I wanted to show you on this particular screen is that what you have here is not just the drones. I'm showing all the power lines and what is going on. We can be monitoring this simultaneously. We are early stage with our product being rolled out. We've got quite a few customers working on this. Competition, there are certainly competitors, but they tend to focus on buckets or only a portion of this problem, not the entire ecosystem. And then for ourselves, we do have some unfair advantages. We have a partner, Universal Field Services, a right-of-way mapping company, and they have access to a great number of utilities because they're already doing the mapping and they want to automate this process using drones. We're looking for $3 million in revenue. That's a true statement, always. But we're looking to raise $3 million. We have 2 of that so far this year, looking for an extra $1 million. A second raise next year, and then profitable. Thank you. Steal that. Questions?
Thank you for the presentation. I think the demands, the market is pretty big. You mentioned in one slide, and you saw also one slide talking about competition. And you mentioned there's no leader right now. So could you elaborate a little more why there's no leader right now?
One of the reasons that there's no leader is the world really hasn't adopted 3D images or models. I spend time selling, convincing people that you'd be better off with a 3D image of your construction site. Like, construction companies know to do it, and they have virtual design teams. 14 people, 20 drones, covering tens of billions of dollars across 50 sites across the world. They're dabbling because they're not entirely sure what to do with everything just yet. You'll see leaders in companies doing portions of this. So I showed you a Pix4D and a drone deploy. They're very popular on that. They have photogrammetry, but it's not the highest quality. I can go to billion-dollar companies like Esri and Context Capture, and I can still get a lot, but only a portion of it. The reason there's no one clear leader is there's still more adoption to do. And when we automate, really automate, and that data goes up, I think you'll start to see people emerge. But we know how to go after these utility folks right now.
Okay, so good presentation. I have a couple, actually, let's see, 3 questions. The first question is, for your system, right, do you need any special sensors like sensors or a camera mounted, retrofit to whatever drone set your customer is using?
So I don't provide the sensor. The sensor, a drone is a robot and it has a sensor. So if I need a 42 megapixel camera because I'm doing some special, tower inspection, that usually will get acquired, or we would recommend what that is. If it's methane, we know the companies and the sensors that are out there, but I'm not necessarily providing the hardware, or I would bundle it with the software. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, because the hardware will affect the quality of the data that you collect. Right?
Oh, without a doubt.
Right, okay. So the question is, a lot of the drone companies, right, one of the problems they have is a range issue. So if you are, if you're a pure software company, so potentially, right, your software can be also used for airplane. Right, so a lot of them, right, like inspection pipeline, whatever, a lot of people using airplane.
So for pipeline inspection, we're involved in that. They're using what's called VTOL, right? So longer range, fixed wing aircraft on that particular side of things. So if you are able to go get a, beyond visual line of sight waiver, and there's a lot of work going on that particular front, the drone is self-contained. You can use our software to plan that flight, and you get the data, and then we begin to analyze. But for our solution set, we're just trying to make it easier. So instead of having experts who are camera guys, drone guys, photogrammetry folks, and then analyzing data on national assets, we already know it's too slow, and that's why there's no one clear leader right now.
So the last question, right? For your $3 million raise, you have a lead investor now?
We do.
All right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt, and I'm the tech founder of WearMe, a smart wearables company. Before, I actually wanted to do problem solution, but I was told it's a lot better if I tell you about a real story that I actually went through. So, a few years ago, I was actually, I think in 2005, I moved actually to China, and I worked in China for 2 decades building smart wearables. One of the, the reasons why I started WearMe was because I was a neighbor. I moved to this neighborhood, and my neighbor was a very elderly lady. She lives alone, and she lives out of Meals on Wheels type of, situation, where, the government actually sends her food every day. And she's deaf. She cannot hear. She can read lips, though. So whenever she's talking to people, she reads lips. But I speak Chinese, but she couldn't read my lips because the way I open my mouth is a little slightly different. So there was one day that she used to actually wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, my window is not closed well, or my air conditioner is not working. So, but you know, communication was really hard because she was not understanding me. And then one day she broke down and she cried and she said like her life quality, you know, how it has changed through the years, mainly because of her disability. So what I did was I actually thought of how we can apply technology to solve her problem, which was the birth of this product. She's going to be giving you, this is a smart glass for deaf people. It literally transcribes what other people are saying to them. So these type of wearables are wearables that could actually change the quality of life for people who would be actually wearing them, and we're in a business of building them. So just a little bit about the industry is that the wearable industry is currently very active and primed for disruption, mainly because of independent innovators with the rise of entrepreneurship, and also there's a lack of diversity, which means everybody's actually building smartwatches and activity trackers. And one unique insight that I have about the wearables industry is the wearable industry favors small teams, lean budgets with big impact. So WearMe, we actually made it a lot easier for people to actually build wearables. And in order to establish the street credibility, we have started with prototyping our own products. So this is a smart and sustainable bralette that we actually built. She's going to show you. And it has it has about 12 different sensors in there. We do sweat analysis, as well as EKG, ECG, and all the bells and whistles. This is the glasses that I actually showed it to you just now. And this is a smart shoe. I'm wearing actually one right now. And also, this is a product that we built for a third-party innovator. And it has an EEG sensor, so it's a headphone with, the greatest thing about it is that we're trying to actually decode brainwaves into a state of being. So far, we've come a long way. We've already made 160K last year, and this year we plan to reach 7 digits. And our go-to-market strategy is we start with our own product, which is actually the Smart Bra this year, and go into smart glasses and smart shoes next year. And this is our core team. I'm an electrical engineer with 2 decades of experience. Richard, he has raised millions of dollars from Indiegogo and Kickstarter. This is our engineering team. This is our support team. And this is our board of medical advisors. All products that we actually build go through FDA clearance. And we're asking for $500K in SAFE or convertible note to reach $2 million in revenue. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good timing. All right, judges, any questions?
Thank you for the story shared regarding neighbors.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Yes.
For the smart glass,
Yeah.
you design for people cannot hear, right?
Yes.
So it will be marketed as a medical device with a reimbursement code, or is a consumer product? That's my question.
Oh, that is a very good question. So everything that we built, we try to build it with dual use. So one is actually the medical and the other one is commercial. The medical part, actually, we're planning to commercialize it through as a prescription, which means we're planning around $499 for the for the glasses, and then $20 per month subscription. So that's how it comes. But the commercial version, mostly we're going to be using it for like live translations for people actually, if they were wearing it together, because we transcribe it, it could also do live translations. Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lana. I'm the founder and CEO of Is Gentle. Super excited to be here. So before I go into the introduction of our company, I'd like to ask you guys a question. How many of you don't shop online? Please raise your hand. All right, this is not bad, not bad at all. But whenever I shop, I go through the list of questions in my head. 1, how much does it cost? 2, how does this product compare to everything else in the market? And 3, am I getting the best deal? So those are very easy questions to answer as a consumer. But imagine that you are a sustainability officer at one of the Fortune 500 companies. Suddenly, when you're thinking about sustainability solutions, it becomes a challenge. The market is huge. So, sorry. So, so what is Gentle? Gentle is a B2B climate tech marketplace focused on energy efficiency solutions. What we do is, 1, we're laying out a clear path for corporates on how to reach net zero and gain a competitive advantage. And 2, we helping clean tech companies, we're providing an equal opportunity to showcase differentiators and accelerate their business. So we act as a lead generation tool for them. So this is how our platform looks like. Today we have the wait list of buyers, medium and large size companies looking to shop on our marketplace, and this is just an example. Meanwhile, we also have the list of providers that we already signed, and we currently in the process of onboarding. One word, I keep forgetting. Money, right. So how does the market look like for Is Gentle? So this is actually the fastest growing market after AI. There are over 60,000 energy efficiency solutions in the space. And just for clarity, we focus on equipment. So why it really makes sense both economically and environmentally. The market trends are really there, and if you guys work in the space, you probably see that ESG becomes a critical criteria for both investors and consumers. When it comes down to our competition, there are a couple of strong players in the space, but I would say what really sets us apart is that we don't gatekeep the information. We make it available for buyers at no cost. We work with providers and sign the contract, either a subscription-based model or we share the revenue. So this is who we are, this is what we do, and now I would like to open up the floor for questions.
Okay, I've got a loud voice, I don't need a mic to ask you. How do you keep somebody like Amazon from copying what you're doing? It makes you look great, but bankrupts your investors. Secondly, do you have a validated study of how much money you need to get to your next milestone funding? That's what I have to
Sorry, sir, could you repeat the second question? So I got the first one. What happens if the Amazon opens up a climate tech marketplace? And the second one?
A verifiable method by which you have determined how much money you need to get to the next milestone. Or profitability, we hope, because I don't want to see anybody fail.
Absolutely. So let me repeat. The first question was about what happens if the big player like Amazon tries to open up a climate tech marketplace. So we thought about that. If you look at our team deck, we have strong people on our board. We have an ESG consultant who works full-time, and so we kind of go ahead of the trend. We participate in the events like this. We speak with the largest companies, and we're signing contracts right now. What really stands out, like for Amazon, people say there is a lack of trust with ratings, with verification. For us, we really sell the trust. We say we are the trust. So before we sign a contract with any clean tech provider, we actually go through a heavy due diligence, which sometimes takes like a month. So like we sign the NDA, we take their methodology. Until they check all of the boxes, we don't onboard them.
I think it's an excellent answer. I think we could, at a later time, go into greater depth on that. And would the next person who'd like to ask raise their hand so I can hand them the microphone?
I see.
There you go, brother.
Pass it on.
I'm realizing I didn't answer the second question. So for financing, we're looking to open up the pre-seed round in the next 2 months. And to get us started with like the end-to-end marketplace product, we need about $500,000 to really accelerate the process of onboarding and have more people on the team who are professionals in the ESG space. So that's our target goal. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. It's my great honor to be here, to be the last one in this pitch at the Smart City. And one big thing about Smart City is you get it electrified. So what we do at Pando, in a short sentence, we provide the most scalable EV charging solutions to apartments and commercial buildings. And the scalable is the key, because we are seeing the trend that EVs is coming all the way around. I'll start with a story of myself. I used to live in an apartment. I drive an EV, and I realized that when I'm at the office, there's always not enough charging ports for me. And when I go back to the apartment, I find that the whole parking ground with 10 or 15 EVs, there is only one stop charge point. I never get it. And then like when I go there at 11 p.m. or 12 p.m., I see the port is still taken. So that it really brings me anxiety that I cannot charge at home. And here's the number. 40% of the US population live in apartments. And we are seeing that 60% of EV sales in 2030 will be electric vehicles. So for them, they need a scalable way to charge their EVs, which does not exist right now. First, the current solution from the market available is expensive. It costs them thousands of dollars for one charging pot. And people will hogging the chargers. When they finish at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., nobody will move the car for you. And more than that, the cable is long and is on the ground. It is unsafe, bring hazards and messy around. And the last thing, and also very important, is there is just not enough amps in the panel, in the building, to support all those EVs charging at the same time. The buildings are not ready, and it is expensive to upgrade. You may ask, why bother? Why not we go out to the public chargers? I have a friend who's a single mom. She has a kid. So can you imagine that you ask her after work to drive her baby with her to Walmart, wait for half an hour and charge for another half an hour at the public DC fast charging? It is impossible. That is why at Pando Electric, we bring the solution. So the core business of Pando Electric comes with 3 parts. The number one, we call it slice and match system, which free the existing capacity. When you talk to an electrician, he say, hey, the building can only support 2 EV chargers, otherwise it may blow the panel. It is only talking about 7 p.m. when everybody is using their appliance. So what we do is on the first part, when those people, they finish the charging their vehicles, say at midnight, he doesn't need to move his car because the electricity will go directly to other people. And more than that, at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. when people are sleeping, we free more capacity from the panel. So this is purely behind the meter that we do the slice and the match so that everybody is happy. Second, it has a compact design so that it can scale up with the size, with the footprint, and also with the solution cost. And more than that, most importantly, it brings the peace of mind to EV drivers who live in an apartment and who deserve a home charger solution. About our hardware, it is designed to scale up for apartments and commercial buildings. It has the size of a book and can charge at a high speed of 9.6 kilowatt like a monster. And also, it has the smart connectivity so that everything can be done remotely online on your app. How about our SaaS platform? As I mentioned, we bring the slice and the match system, and also we bring the load gateway so that we can monitor how much energy is being used right now in the building, so that we can see how much can be freed up for charging more EVs. And more than that, we can help the city, help the utility to respond to the grid peaks and help on the electricity bill. And most importantly, we remove anxiety and bring convenience to users. So given all those benefits that Pandoin is offering, we are proposing to properties with our smart outlet, our web portal, and our SaaS platform service. And in the long term, we are also right now working on our load gateway and our power planning. So we are embracing the ecosystem and started to see tractions. So we're working with regulators, we're working with different properties, and also we know the satisfaction of EV drivers is the key. And to wrap it up, right now we are looking to close our angel round. We are asking for $1 million to support us get to our next milestone with 3 main achievements: launch of our product, deploy 1,000 units, and to break even, to start to make money. Thank you really for your time.
All right, thank you. Judges, any questions? Good.
They probably can't connect to their cell phones. So how are you going to solve this problem?
So 2 questions. So number 1 question is about the stage of our product right now. So by end of June, we are going to provide our P0 sample, which is equivalent to MVP. It has all the features, all the functions, all the things designed in there except for the certification label. And our mass production is be planned by end of Q3, September of 2023. And then our the first batch of mass production will be hundreds of pieces, but the roll up will be really easy. And the second part is really a good question about the signal. You know, like we have visited multiple properties around the country. There are some properties that are in the garage building, so they can leverage the 4G signal. There are some of them is under the ground. We can use Wi-Fi. And for some specific buildings, there is no signal at all. For those users to charge their EV, we need to do a minimum conversion of their building. For example, we need extra wires, extra hard cables, and some like small phone signals so that they can connect their app with our charger through the network. But to make it even simpler, our module is dual band. So that means even there's completely no signal, your phone and the charger can talk through Bluetooth. Thanks.
One more question. Great presentation, by the way, very clear.
Thank you.
What's your distribution strategy in such a fragmented market?
This is a good one. So basically, we need to embrace the ecosystem. So 2 things to be clear at the beginning. Our direct customer is not the user, is not the driver. It is to the properties. And on the other hand, we also cherish the power of regulators. Say, for example, cities, because of their regulations, their incentives, and on the other hand, is the distributors. Some people like who do the direct sales and who install the EV chargers. And luckily, we're now working with partners in all those three domains. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you all.